So today's topic of discussion is tariff. What is tariff, types of tariff, and the function and purposes of tariff we will be discussing in today's lecture. So what is tariff? Tariff is a tax imposed on the goods and services that are traded across the national border of country, or tariff is a tax or duty levied on goods when they enter or leave the national boundary. So, in other words, tariff is a tax imposed by a government of a country or by a supranational union on imports or exports of goods. There are two kinds of tariff: import tariff and export tariff. But usually, when we talk about tariff, we are talking about import tariff because countries do not prioritize the export tariff because they want to increase their revenue to gain the foreign currency. So, when we talk about tariff, we are usually referring to the import tariff that is imposed on the goods. That's a kind of tax when the import products enter into our country. Tariffs vary country to country. In advanced countries, there is no concept of tariff, however, because it is very low, 3.5% on average. There's tariff in advanced countries. Basically, there are three kinds of tariff: specific tariff, ad valorem tariff, and compound tariff. And there's also a fourth tariff called sliding scale tariff, but we usually don't find it in books, so we don't talk about it. So starting with the specific tariff. A specific tariff is a tax imposed directly onto one imported good and does not depend upon the value of that imported good. So fixed amount of fee that can be imposed per physical unit, per physical weight, and per physical and movement commodity is called a specific tariff that is imposed on unit of imported good, not on the value of that imported good. Here are some examples of specific tariff. For example, when we import shoes, so in each pair of shoes there is 10 rupees tariff per unit of good. So we are not referring this tariff to the value of good. We refer this tariff to the unit of goods. For example, on import of rice there is 100 rupees tariff per unit of ton and 500 rupees specific tariff on import of per unit of mobile. Second kind of tariff is ad valorem tariff. Ad valorem tariff is a charge levied on imports defined in terms of a fixed percentage of a value or fixed percentage of value of commodity imposed based on any value of commodity. This is quite opposite from specific tariff. It does not refer to the unit of commodity, it refers to the value of commodity, and that's the major and big difference between specific tariff and ad valorem tariff. Moving toward the example of ad valorem tariff, 6% sale tax added to the price of a new hair dryer. That means we talk about in terms of the value. So 6% sales tax being added to the price of a new hair dryer is an example of ad valorem tariff. And you can see the next example, 5% tariff on import of a car. For example, if price of a car is 10 million, then according to 5% tariff policy, you have to pay half a million as a tariff. Talking about third kind of tariff is compound tariff. A compound tariff is a combination of both ad valorem tariff and a specific tariff. It includes specific tariff on each unit of commodity plus some percentage of ad valorem tariff on value of that commodity. Basically, it means it imposes a tax on imported goods based on the number of imported goods and value of that imported goods. That is the compound tariff. Tariff is considered as one of the most effective kind of tariff. You can see through the examples. For example, Pakistan charged 0.88 rupees per liter of some petroleum products plus 25% of ad valorem tariff and 300 rupees tariff on import of per unit mobile plus 10% ad valorem tariff on total value of mobile. We'll talk about functions or purposes of tariff. The first function of tariff is to discourage consumption of useless products or products that are not so benefiting us, so we impose tariff to discourage consumption. Basically, we cannot discourage consumption of basic necessities like on import of wheat or rice, but we try our best to discourage consumption of products that are not so benefiting for us, but our public, our youths keeps demanding of it, so we impose tariff to discourage their consumption to raise revenue. Sorry, I have made a mistake here. I have wrote avenue, but it's revenue, revenue, to raise revenue of the country. Revenue enhancement means the increase in revenues that is achieved by raising amount of taxes. So this is the second function of a tariff. To protect our domestic industries, we need to discourage imports. Because if a product is being made in our country and the same product is being made out of the country and we we impose tariff to discourage the imports of that product so our domestic industries can grow. So we need to discourage imports to keep our domestic industries growing.